Hello, everybody. Welcome to another video between Alex and I on Hungry Debates. Right.
Yeah,
Today, we thought we would discuss about COVID-19 in China. Alex wanted to hear about
correct.
my insights
Uh,
or what I know about
yeah,
that.
insights of your
Um,
students because you
what did
said
you want to
you
ask?
have a lot of students, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to give you the picture that I have, and you can tell me if I'm correct or if I'm wrong. So the
Okay.
the picture that I have is there were two significant waves of COVID in China. The first wave, which started in Wuhan, and then it was sort of curbed with the lockdown. And then after they lifted the lockdown, there was a second wave because, well, they couldn't bear the lockdown anymore. Economy was struggling. So they lifted it. And then the second wave hit. Is that, does that summarize it adequately?
Oh, yeah. So if we talk about the COVID cases specifically, like you said, there was an outbreak in Wuhan, right? Where there were
Yeah.
apparently some actual deaths, right? And then the government
Oh,
quickly,
there were
although
lots
not
of
quickly
deaths.
enough, yeah, although and then the government quickly, although not quickly enough, in my opinion, stamped down on it and actually stopped a lot of like movement between cities and stuff. And yet it kind of came out. Then
So
there
they
was a
imposed the
period
lockdown,
of yeah.
basically.
There was a period of about a year or two, a year and a half, where they had cases in the single digits, meaning that they virtually had no cases. People were able to go about their day and stuff. I mean, I saw like vlogs of this Canadian who was living in Nanjing in China, and he was showing himself in different cities. This is back in 2021. And
Okay.
but they had it virtually under control, and then they didn't. And what was also happening was PCR
So they kind of
tests every day.
postpone it.
Yes, basically. And then what happened was, like you mentioned, they lifted the lockdown eventually in at the end of 2022, right? Let me
Mhm.
try to remember. Uh,
Yeah, somewhere
because
around that
yeah,
time.
yeah, I did, and I know this because all of my students got sick at the same time, right?
Ooh,
Uh, so
funny.
within a week or 2 weeks, it seemed like the whole of China got sick, right? And then
Okay.
the crematoriums were like running on
Right.
full pelt, um, so that's what happened, and then they got over it, right? Now,
Right.
um,
So they
any
got over
mhm,
it through the natural means. Basically, they sort of
exactly,
naturally uh,
they
done away
they
with it,
naturally
but
they,
by letting the immune system of people just sort of kind of devour it and sort of
exactly.
push it through.
And here's the
Right.
thing: do you know what the vaccination rates were in China?
I have no idea. Zero.
60% or 40%?
Sixty
It was
percent.
very
Oh, that's
low.
a lot. That. Oh no,
Not
that's
that
low. Is
much.
that low? 60%. Really?
It wasn't
Because I have
80
no
or
idea.
90. Because I know in Britain it is much higher. Yeah, it's much higher in Britain. Yeah,
Okay,
you know.
why did that happen? Did they not believe in vaccination? Were they anti-vaxxers or something?
So again, I do have some insights here. So I had one of my students who was kind of like a social worker, right? And
Hmm.
one of her jobs was to call the local old people to tell them, hey, you need to take your vaccine, like that. It was a
Hmm. Yeah.
voluntary thing. It wasn't. People didn't have to take their vaccine. They had to. It was a
Okay.
voluntary thing. Yeah. So they weren't forced to take their vaccine. Yeah. Unlike
Okay.
in Britain, where you get like, yeah, the
I get this feeling that nowadays there is nothing voluntary in Britain. Everything is mandatory.
well, I mean, they make it mandatory one way or
Like
another. I think.
your
Yeah,
freedoms
yeah,
and rights, even your freedoms and rights are mandatory in Britain. So that's how I feel about it.
right, right. So
Yeah.
in any case, like vaccinations weren't fully distributed. I mean, people didn't take them. Not all of them, not especially the old people, right? And
Yeah.
then again, there was, and then I don't know how effective the Sino vaccine was. Apparently, it wasn't very effective, right? Given
Right.
the fact that everyone got sick anyway. But then again, Pfizer and the other one, AstraZeneca, wasn't that effective either because I think people still got sick with those. But maybe the symptoms were milder. So maybe from that perspective, the vaccines did their job, right? Either way.
Yeah.
Uh,
I see. I see. Well, I had one shot, by the way, or I even had two
I,
shots. Maybe I don't know.
I
No,
had
I
two.
had one shot.
I
I
had
had
two.
one shot. I
You
had
had
one
one
shot.
shot, huh?
I
I
had
had
one
two
shot
because I
of the
needed to see.
Russian hard stuff, and
You didn't have
by
Pfizer
the
or
way,
AstraZeneca? No, or
no, no,
no?
no.
Mm.
I have this Russian, the hard stuff, the vodka-based vaccine, So, but no, I mean the Russian vaccine, of course, is not based on vodka, but who knows? Anyway, anyway, uh, and what was funny that before I went to take that shot, I heard this, like, a friend of mine from Russia. He said that his coworker died from that vaccine, and I was supposed to go, to take the shot on the next day. And I was like,
Actually,
oh shit.
when I took the shot, I don't know if it was the second one or whatever, but the guy next to me, and he was a young guy, he was feeling lightheaded. So the
He just
doctor asked
collapsed.
him to no, asked him to lie down on the floor with his legs on the chair. Yeah,
Oh,
yes,
yeah, sort
yeah.
of to increase the blood flow.
I
Right, that's
suppose
interesting.
so. Basically, he was feeling
I
so
didn't
that's the
feel
only
anything,
like negative
honestly.
case. Neither did
I
I.
didn't
Neither
have
did I. Yeah.
anything,
Hmm.
nothing. I just took that shot
Yeah.
and I just went out straight and never had any symptoms or whatever. So it's like, God bless me. Anyway,
Right, right.
so,
I had
uh,
zero
but
effects either as well.
yeah,
Mm, mm,
inshallah.
mhm.
uh, anyway, but let's go back to China. So in China, right? They had this second wave, and this one that you could observe it because your students just immediately got sick, right?
And
After the
canceled the
lockdown
lessons
was
and stuff.
released,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
right?
Hmm.
They canceled lessons, yeah, because the lungs were full of virus. They couldn't literally say anything. Man, can we just take a little break because I'm on my slow connection and you're breaking up all the time.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So I'll stop you.